The fact that we have these groups like WIFT, CWC, these are great things that empower us. I encourage all of you as women who are here today to reach out to another woman in the industry, give them a hand into the industry, help them out. I know I was given that hand, and look where I am now. I wouldn't be here today without them. So thanks to all the women who've got me here.
You have an amazing story, like the dream discovery story. Tell me it.
I've been chasing the dream for 10 years, wanted to have a cooking show to help Canada learn how to cook, and no networks were taking on any new shows when I finally got the courage to go after it. So I decided to start a temporary website to teach people how to cook. And I put up a temporary landing page, and Krista Look from CBC saw my temporary landing page, called me in for an audition, and 2 days before my wedding I found out I got the job, and 2 days after we started filming, and that was what,
oh my God, I didn't even realize it was that quick.
2 years ago. I just
That's
had my wedding anniversary.
That's the dream, right? That's what we
Persistence.
want to happen.
Never stop and keep on envisioning it.
It's a long time ago. It's nearly 30 years ago. I was 17. I'm from Owen Sound, Ontario, and I had been Miss Teen Canada when I was 16. So
That's exciting. I didn't know that.
It was a lot of fun in that time. But as a result of that, I did an awful lot of public speaking around the world, actually. And the radio station, which had been my sponsor for that, was looking for a part-time disc jockey. And so asked if I'd be interested in starting. I was bound for law school, but I thought, what a fun summer job. So I was a disc jockey at CFOS and On Sound, $4.50 an hour, and all the records you could eat, as we used to say, because the pay was so bad. And that's where it began. And so I went to university here in Toronto, University of Toronto, and on weekends and through the summers, I kept coming back to work at the local radio station. And about third year, I finally thought to myself, why am I going to law school? I don't even know if I'd like law school, but I know that I love this. And that's where I started.
I talked my way in. I still haven't quite figured out how I pulled
You
that
are a
off.
good talker.
I was 17. I was in high school, and I talked my way into a job at a local newspaper, and I still can't figure out how it is that I had the nerve to do that, but it worked, and that was really how I started. And then I ended up sort of building my career. I went back to school, decided that a love of writing wasn't just the same as the ability to write, and I really needed to learn a lot about broadcasting, writing for broadcasting, and to develop some of the understanding you have to have about the legal issues around being a journalist and what a journalist needs to consider in developing a story. And I went through that in television and radio, and now it's been 25 years. So it's a career that I'm really happy I started in, but I still can't believe that it's all come together as well as it has.
At a teeny tiny station in southern Alberta, and the great thing about that, so many people want to stay in the GTA because it's where everything's happening. I have a motto that I live by, which is big mistakes in a small market, so you make smaller mistakes in a big market. And you cannot trade off just working hard and getting experience. It gives you confidence, it gives you, in television anyway, and especially in news, the industry is like this big. So, you work with people that you'll end up working with again 10 years from now. So you can't trade off experience.
If you can do anything else, do that.
Why would you even joke about that?
Well, I would say that this industry is really hard, and you've got to really want it, and you've got to you get challenged as far as your values are concerned a lot, and it takes a strong individual to sort of weather what this industry throws at you. So be sure you want this.
The social media today really gives artists an opportunity to put themselves out there without having to wait for a record label or for someone to really discover them. So I think there's so many great creative ways that you can put yourself on film and even with a small little iPhone and make sure people hear you.
Go to school, girls. Be smart. That'll get you as far as you need to go. Just stay determined. Make sure that everything that you really want to do, you get your hands on. Never quit. If you don't quit, you won't fail.
Again, look for opportunities and take them when they come up, and don't be afraid to push and say, I want that, and strive for it.
Very important for women to learn to say that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Don't be shy.
Great. Work hard, work your butt off. Take your opportunities as they come and work as hard as you can. Find a mentor if you can. And the great thing about being at an early stage of your career, or even in university, is they'll return your phone calls. They'll send you back an email. They're more than willing to help out. Later on in your career, when you become their competition, they won't be as willing to answer your questions.
So who's they? Because a lot of people said find a mentor. Does that mean that someone can email you? Not that I'm...
You know what? Yeah, people do email me, and I have sat down with people, and they've asked me those very questions. I found Lisa LaFlamme actually was an early mentor of mine when I worked at CTV. She gave me a lot of her time and always great advice, and I will still check in with her if I have big decisions that I'm making.
You have to love it, because you're going to have to work very hard at it. You're going to have to work longer and harder than everybody, men or women actually at this point, to make a start. I'd say be open to all sorts of different things. If there's a job open in Yellowknife but you want to end up in Toronto, take that job in Yellowknife. It can lead you back to Toronto. So be open to new opportunities that you don't really think are maybe typical, like mine was circuitous. Also, do whatever you can to be as versatile as you can, to make yourself as valuable to an employer as you can. So I think those are good qualities in any workplace, and I think they stand in ours as well.